Hey you, it's True with a first look at the new SSR Earth Okita, and it is yet another stealth unit. Seems like Sigza really wants to bring stealth back up in the meta, or do they? Her speed is slightly on the lower side at 379. Her first active skill is called Trinity Thrust, giving 1 spirit and costing 50 time units, dealing 75% damage to one enemy, but if she already has stealth, then this actually deals 500% damage. On top of that, she will also be granted stealth and a stealth shield, so this very much looks like an upgraded Swift stealth skill. This one has lower time units, potentially higher damage, and also grants a stealth shield on top of stealth. As always, stealth shields prevent the next other status effect a unit would gain while stealthed from applying. The next skill is called Stealth Landslide and is remarkably cheap, I think, for what it does. 1 spirit cost, 1 time unit cost, so it is an instant skill, and it targets 2 enemies for 500% damage. But, there is a but, this only applies to targets that are not burning, so it is a bit similar to the one target Moon Cannon of Kaguya released 1 year ago. Okita needs the stealth status effect to use this attack, which ignores any enemy status effects, including stealth, damage reduction effects, revenge passive skills, and skin passive skills, so the usual for a stealth attack. However, not only does she need stealth, because otherwise she would be able to spam this until she runs out of spirit, which might not happen given it just costs 1 spirit and there are other units that potentially supply her with spirit, and so this skill becomes locked for 50 time units after use. So she will basically only be able to alternate this with her other skills, which are all 50 time units or above. However, 50 time units isn't a time frame to be underestimated in the current meta, so she might lose stealth during that time, but luckily she has some passives for stealth gaining as well, but more on that later. First we go on to the third skill, which is called Boundless Slash. Now this one is more of an unlock skill, costing 1 spirit and 70 time units, dealing 500% to one enemy, ignoring damage reduction effects but nothing else, and granting stealth a stealth shield and 3 charges to Okita. So yet again we have a charge mechanic on this unit. Unfortunately, she can only use this skill if she is at 0 charges, which also makes her quite vulnerable. On the plus side though, after she uses this skill, the next damage she deals with an attack can ignore any effects of non-boss enemies that would prevent the target from being defeated. So basically her next skill becomes an execute skill automatically. However, yeah, I think this skill is a bit niche because of that really strict requirement of having 0 charges, and to lose these charges she needs to be attacked but actually survive until her turn with these 0 charges to actually use the Boundless Slash, but let's see. And then last but not least we have the Trinity Onslaught, this one actually costing 2 spirit, 70 time units, and targeting yet again 2 enemies. But if these enemies have only survived for less than 100 time units on the battlefield so far, this only deals 100% damage. If it's more than that, then it's 300% and 600% damage to targets that have survived 200 time units or more. However, these scalings to 300 and 600% only work on enemies that are not burning. So yet again, we have another attack that is very ineffective against burning enemies. However, this attack also ignores damage reduction effects. And as a little bonus, if this attack leaves an enemy with below 25% of max HP, they will be mega poisoned, dealing 20 times as much damage as normal poison. Not really an amazing skill in my eyes, but of course if you have a lot of enemies that have already survived for quite a long time that are not burning, and Okita might also have her execute unlocked, then this Trinity Onslaught of course can be very deadly to 2 enemies. Now I already mentioned some of her passives, but there is still some surprises left. First we are tackling Captain's Resolve. If she isn't burning, then she is immune to stun effects. This is of course quite nice. She also evades poison as long as she is stealthed, so the stealth shield will not be used up. Every 100 time units she automatically gains stealth and a stealth shield. This only triggers until she has survived for 1000 time units, which honestly I don't think we will see that often. This isn't really to bash her survivability, but nowadays I think a very small minority of top level arena or war battles last for 1000 time units. So yeah, but that is to say that every 100 time units you can expect her to get that. So we already had 2 active skills that give her stealth and a stealth shield, and now we have another way that she gets that, and this isn't even the last one, so stay tuned. But first we see that she is actually a unit that has lifesteal, so whichever damage she deals, she gains for herself as HP. Quite a nice feature, but also quite necessary given that she has very little, or rather no other ways to heal herself, so she really needs to get those turns to heal herself up again and again. She enters the battle with stealth, stealth shield and 3 charges. And yet again, we have this charged hold ground mechanic. She will consume 1 charge to survive with 1 HP remaining instead if she gets attacked or gets dealt damage by some DOT, for example. Unfortunately, she does not heal back up or get stealthed when being attacked, like we saw with Hichikata. So this makes her rather vulnerable to DOT and certain other attacks. Then again, her stealth shields hopefully protect her from that in many cases. And then on to her second passive, which is called the Vengeance Rampage. And the first paragraph is more on the latter. Whenever she defeats a non-conjured unit on the battlefield with an attack, her next damage that she deals with an attack while on the battlefield will be an execute skill, so yet again ignoring any effects of non-boss enemies that would prevent the target from being defeated. Again, unlike Dark Cinderella, this is not a permanent execute unlock until she actually kills an enemy. This is just really for the next attack. So hopefully with that next attack she will defeat yet another non-conjured enemy, and then she will have that unlocked for her next attack as well. So definitely some snowball potential here. And then the second part being the vengeance part, actually a kind of team support skill for herself and her teammates. Whenever another non-conjured ally on the battlefield is defeated, all allies will gain the stealth status effect, a stealth shield, 2 spirit, and will become enraged. However, this does not happen if it is Okita who is the one who is defeated, so she kind of needs to survive the same attack that takes out potentially another non-conjured ally on the battlefield. This is kind of a Stealthy Vengeance 2.0, and Stealthy Vengeance, if you think back to Earth Mysha, was super powerful back in the days. And in general, Okita looks a little bit like an Earth Mysha 2.0 to me. There's also some similarities to the original Sun Wukong, which also had Stealthy Vengeance and which also had a charged hold ground mechanic with a skill that can only be used when she has 0 charges to recharge those charges. And certainly Okita is powerful, more powerful than both of them combined by far, but the meta has also moved quite a lot since their release. Back then stealth was the dominating meta. Right now it really isn't yet, despite having a number 1 unit that features stealth in Storm King Arthur. Okita is yet another is yet another earth unit that is very vulnerable to burn, not completely helpless, and you know, the stun immunity while not burning is helpful given that she has also the stealth shield, which might prevent her from burning for a bit. The Stealthy Vengeance 2.0 also quite nice when facing a burn team with a stealth team, I suppose, but it's probably just not enough in that matchup. But okay, let's not focus too much on the most unfavorable matchup for her. She is probably quite good against sleep, given her many ways to gain stealth shields and stealth, and of course against normal storm stun teams, given her stun immunity while not burning. And to demonstrate how she does on the battlefield, I have a little example battle for you, courtesy of Anonymous, together with some other stealth and stun units on your team. Given the instant pushback from Unicorn directly targeted her, you can already see that she might have quite the high hate level, although of course we need to see more to confirm this. But this might be a problem on the one hand, but on the other hand, of course, she wants to lose charges so she can use her third active skill. But as I said before, it is quite the thin trail to walk on for that, given that she will be super vulnerable to defeat as well then. And meanwhile, we see her enter again the battlefield. It is a bit of a problem that everyone on her team is getting stunned, but Okita is stun immune, so this is not really affecting her. And then we have the Trinity Onslaught and the Stealth Landslide, another Trinity Thrust, so a very nice combo here. And now she defeated a non-conjured enemy, so her next attack will be an execute. And given that this is an execute, this can really turn the tides in this battle. Napoleon is gone now, and Okita does another Trinity Thrust. Unfortunately now no more any execute skill, but now she defeated the Unicorn, and of course this way she can also execute Storm King Arthur. So this was quite a nice demonstration of Okita, I think. However, you need to keep in mind that this is handpicked battle. In many others, she may not look as good. I see no way how she would change the meta like Earth Mysha did, although admittedly that is quite a high bar. She doesn't really need to live up to such a high standard. But still, I mean, in a stealth team, sure, she is really good and nice to have, but that burn weakness is a bit troubling, and also against other top units like Cthulhu, it might be troublesome that she stays at 1 HP without stealth after losing a charge. It's also potentially problematic for sure, but on the plus side, maybe after already 3 stealth units were released in a row, we will see another one in Dark Kaguya going forward, and maybe that combination might unlock additional potential in Okita. But right now it's really hard to see her as a must-have, especially for free-to-play players. That being said, stay tuned for some actual top-level arena footage on this channel, which can give an even better view on her utility. Also, I recommend to wait at least until Lucky Fountain is here to summon her for some additional rewards, besides the fact that at this point we already have a better picture on how good Okita can really be. Thanks to Helios for the skill animations shown. Don't forget to like and subscribe to become a true carrot, and as always, thanks for watching.